Okay, so let's talk about getting insurance coverage. I know you know, you're in a small clinic. You don't think anything is gonna go wrong. You're super excited to get started, but you always have to plan if, excuse my language, if shit hits the fan, are you going to be covered? You always have to plan. What if this would happen? Am I going to be covered? So you have to look at professional insurance. So as you're practicing physical therapy, if you happen to injure someone or someone tries to sue you or complain about it, make sure you have professional liability insurance. If you're having a brick and mortar one, you're also going to have general insurance. What happens if a patient's walking and they trip over the curb and fall outside and injure themselves? Are you going to be covered for that? Better yet, if a random pedestrian walks through your property and injures themselves or falls and slips and lands on something, are you covered for that? This is the type of stuff that you have to start thinking about. If you're a mobile cash-based practice person and you're driving around and you get into an accident, are you covered just beyond um your auto insurance? Or better yet, if you have a mobile practice and you have other PTs driving around working, going to these things, are they covered? This is something that you may have to consult with regarding an insurance agent to make sure that you are covered. So regardless, number one, you have to get a professional liability insurance. Many people, the APTA does, have a relationship with HPSO. Most people have said that's crazy expensive and all stuff. You can go through some of these other companies like the CMF Group or PT1 Insurance. That's what we use with that. And we also have a general insurance policy also through them. Now, I am a brick and mortar clinic and I have other PTs and we have a lot of equipment and computers and all sorts of stuff with that. So we have professional liability insurance, general liability insurance, and we also have a renter's insurance policy. So you get to think about too is what happens if the building burns down and all of my equipment's gone? Your general insurance policy will not cover that. So you have to also have renter's insurance or some sort of coverage on that. What if someone breaks into your building and steals all the TVs and all the equipment and all the stuff? Is that covered? So we also have a renter's insurance policy too, just because I'm renting the whole building from my landlord on that one. So, but you want to make sure, what if a hurricane comes? That's another thing. What if a hurricane comes and rips the roof off? Is my business still covered with all the equipment and stuff like that? So you just have to start thinking about these things, and it's going to be different for mobile practices versus brick and mortar, versus a one room clinic. But definitely you have to get your professional liability insurance coverage, and just look at some general liability insurance coverage, for people who are renting something, like for those PTs, like in a CrossFit gym or renting space in a gym. What happens if you take your patient out into the gym and they injure themselves? So it's not just, these are the kind of questions that you want to have less coverage for. This stuff isn't super expensive for us. I think our professional liability insurance maybe it's general, so it's like 1,100, and then we have a huge renters policy too. That's around 1,000 also. But I have a bigger clinic too, so it should only be a couple $100 for you, maybe 800, $500 maybe for you to get covered. But this is something to look into. And whether you're mobile or a brick and mortar clinic, you got to make sure that you do have the proper coverage.